guys, welcome back to another video. Today's little job, got this Honda Accord Type S. As we can see, we've got a bit of an issue straight away. We are missing a back box, so we're going to be building a full exhaust for this. Alright, see what we're dealing with. Oh yeah, well, back box completely gone. God knows where that is, probably on the road somewhere. It's had many repairs before. It's about to break off there. It's been repaired there. It's all been repaired at front. Yeah, so all this is coming off. It's all scrap. We'll be doing the entire thing. So all the way from that flange right up there, we'll be rebuilding everything from there back today. Centre box, 2 back boxes, some nice tips. We'll bring you along on the journey. Let's go. See, we've got all those components made. So this is one silencer, end cap's already tacked on. There's the other one. There's the centre perf. Here's the mid-res end cap's already tacked on the other end of this. Centre perf. Tips, we've reduced those tips down there. The tips customer wanted, but they're obviously a bigger bore than we're using, so we've made a couple of reducers. These will be clamped on. I'll talk about that later in the video, why we clamp them on. I actually forgot on video to tell you why we clamp tips on. So the main reason why we clamp tips on is you'll find stainless steel moves around a hell of a lot. So we'll build an exhaust system and then say 6 months down the line you might look at exhaust to find that the left tip sticking out further than the right tip. Now this is completely normal on a dual exit system. Like I say, stainless does move around a lot. So if you weld them on, that's permanent, then you can't adjust that. If your tips are clamped on, it's literally a case of undoing 2 clamps, resetting your tips, and your exhaust looking perfect again. That's the reason why we clamp on, doing a dual exit and not weld on. To clamp them on. Here's the last silencer, Flexi. So, what do we put in our silencers? So we use what's called Acousta-Fill. So, on a round one like this, what we'll do is we'll wrap this up like that, and then I'll get Connor to do it properly in a sec, but we'll wrap it up like that. Basically stuff that in the box, that's the small round one done. The oval ones, similar procedure, we'll wrap the middle ones in Acousta-Fill, but then we'll also put a little bit of glass pack just in the bigger cavities. So we've got this front bit all tacked up. I had to use original flange because it's a bit of a weird thing. It's not something I like doing that, but in some cases you just have to do it because it's got like a funny gasket. It's just easier just to do it. So we have MIG welded that to that. And got this Flexi tigged on. So now I need to come out of this Flexi, bend it up slightly and into our centre resonator. So that came out pretty much perfect. I did have to put a bit of an extra bend in this portion here just to take a little bit of stress off of that Flexi. I don't like it when Flexis got stress on them. It just makes them reduced lifespan. So yeah, so that's perfect. And yeah, we're aiming straight into the middle of our silencer. So we need to get that tacked up now, get silencer tacked in, and we'll keep going. It's pretty easy for me, to be fair to you. Come out at silencer, that's just a straight 90-degree bend, 90-degree bend. I haven't measured this one, but looking at it, 45-degree bend. When it gets interesting is when it gets to here, because we've got to split it from two. So if you're not sure what a split is, we're coming in here in a bigger diameter tube, we're split into two smaller ones. So we'll show you how we make that split. Like a plonker, I forgot to video most of that, but I'll show you. So that's all mid-pipe, all bent up. We're only tacked into the silencer at the minute, so I need to weld that. Hangers, it's all hanging on its own weight now, it's all got hangers on. Again, it's only tacked at flexi at the moment, we need to do final welds on it. Same this end, need to do final welds. All hangers beautifully TIG welded on. So next up is the tricky part. I see a lot of other companies using like pre-made splits, which is fine, it's good for speed, but it's not really my style. I always make my own, I never ever use any pre-mades ever. So this is quite a tricky one, because this doesn't come out of the car straight. So we've got to do 90 degrees there, and then this one's got to come off more like a 75 degree, but it's also got to point up. So if I just show you on an original one, see how one straight, one points up. We've got to kind of mimic that same thing, which I have done these before, so. But again, I just wing this type of thing. I just make it off the top of my head, so I'll bring you along for the journey. See if I get it right first go, or see if I make a right old balls of it. So first step to making a split is with a piece of tube. This is 2 inch, so we are going from 2 1/4 inch to 2 inch. So I'll show you how we're going to merge that in a sec. To start with, we need to make a 90 degree bend. So later on down the line, we're going to put another bit of a bend here to point this in the right direction. But just for a second, I'm going to cut that about there, because I want this side nice and long, because back box will clamp onto this side. This side will be much shorter, because back box is obviously a lot closer to the centre of the split. So cut that off there. So the way we're going to make a split is first we're going to make a cut along that bottom line. That's just going to trim this bit off. Because this is a crush bend, it does reduce diameter a little bit. Same principle though if you're doing it with a mandrel bend. We will show you how we do it with mandrel bends, because we've got some other jobs coming up where we're doing it all in mandrel bends. This is just a crush bent job. So yeah, first thing, we're going to cut that off there, and then we're going to cut up this line there. Now you'll notice that that line is not in centre of that bend. The reason for that is we're going to cut it slightly off centre, and then we'll end up with like an oval shape, but it'll be bigger than what 2 inches. But then when we expand it, it'll basically match up perfect to 57mm. Hopefully it makes sense when I'm showing you how it comes along. But yeah, that's how we get from 57 to 2 inch, and it will be seamless when I do it. Connor's gone for a poo, so it looks like I'll have to video this bit myself. So that's one half done, that's the left side done. So next part, like I said, that's a 90 degree bend what I've just done. Next one's going to be more like a 75 degree, and we also need to put this cut offset, so it needs to make it point up. Connor's still having a poo, so I have to video the next bit myself. So if we were doing a normal split, we'd have them lined up nice and straight like that. We'd make a cut, weld it down middle, there's a 2-to-1 split. But we need this right side to point up, so all we got to do really is just twist it to angle we want, mark it, and then cut it offset like that, and then we will have one side straight, one side pointing up. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll get it cut and show you. Tell you what, that is not half bad. Now, I don't know if you can tell on camera, see how it's oval, the shape's oval? Well, once we get our swage machine in there and we basically round that bike back off, we'll be left with, hopefully, very damn close to a 57mm hole, which will mate up to the 57mm mid pipe. Let's see how close I did. Yes, I know we're not purging this, so before all fabricators and hobbyists jump in my comment section, oh my god, you're so crap, you haven't purged that. The reason I'm not purging this is because it's 2mm wall. If I were welding this in a 1.5mm wall or like titanium or anything like that, this would be purged 100%. But because it's 2mm wall, you tend not to get much burn from this, if any whatsoever. So, in all honesty, it's not worth wasting the gas. Somewhere. Where is it? Oof. Look at that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Once it's welded around there, that is a perfect transition from 2 1/4 to twin 2 plus an upsweep. Nice. So we're out in it, let's see what it sounds like. Initial impressions, a little bit of boominess, like pulling away from a junction or whatever. And it does sound like a spitting image or a Type R. It couldn't sound any more like an EP3 Type R if it tried. In fact, it sounds more like an EP3 than what an EP3 does. Let's see what it sounds like on bypass. Obviously warmed up. Oh, I do love these engines though, mate. They just rev and rev and rev and rev and rev and rev and rev. They just never stop revving. Sounds beautiful, that.
It does sound nice.
On VTEC, that sounds beautiful. Really nice.
It does sound nice, that.
It's not too much, but it's there. That sounds lovely, that. I'm impressed with that. When I first bought my old EP3 Type R, it had got a Jap style dustbin lid exhaust on it, and it was so loud, it were ear piercingly loud. and I put a couple of silencers in, and it sounded just like this, nice and deep. Oh, somebody's in my way. Of course they're in my way. There's always somebody in my way. I do love an Honda engine.
Sounds amazing.
We are going to have to build some at Honda. We're going to have to K20 turbo some on this channel at some point. I do love an Honda engine. And I can just hear all my customers now, all my Volkswagen Audi group customers crying, saying, no, no. But we're going to have to build some at Honda.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to give a K-Series engine credit where it's due. They just sound immense. Come on, VTEC, and they just sound immense. Not fastest thing in the world. I don't think I ever won a race in my EP3. I think I lost everything. STs, VXRs, everything just used to bury it, but sound-wise. And the hammer that they take, this thing will just take hammer all day long and just love it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Obviously, fitment's 10 out of 10 because we made it, so there's not really a review on that. Looks-wise, just some nice 4-inch tips. Looks sweet.
10 out of 10 again.
Yeah, 10 out. We might be slightly biased, so 10 out of 10 on fitment, 10 out of 10 on looks. Sound, that's definitely a 10 out of 10. So all in all, yeah, if you want perfect exhaust for your record,
10 out of 10.
you want to hit up an AW Automotive and we'll get you a nice exhaust system built. Hope you like these videos. If you do, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, and we'll keep the content coming. We have got some more exciting stuff coming. We'll catch you in the next one.